Hello and welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. I'm a licensed cognitive behavior therapist and a mental health counselor. The reason that I started this channel was so that I could spread awareness for missing victims, for domestic violence victims, other victims who do not have a voice of their own. Thank you very much for joining, and I'd like to thank my subscribers who are always so kind and patient with me. I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you, subscribers, for leaving such nice and kind words in the comment. So I would like to start by going back to the case, a very important case for me. It's the missing case of Summer Moon Utewell. Summer is a 5-year-old girl. She was basically reported missing on the 15th of June 2021. This happened in Tennesse, Rogersville, Hawkins County. An Amber Alert was issued for Summer Moon Utewell. It started basically with the endangerment alert that was put out by Hawkins County law enforcement. Then on the 16th of June, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations got involved in the case and they raised the Amber Alert immediately. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigations usually work with foul play. They work with gang-related cases, gang-related organized crimes, human trafficking, foul play, like I said, and many other things. When TBI raised the endangerment alert to an Amber Alert, WJHL News told us that the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation said that Summer Moon Utewell was seen lost outside a property. Her mother, Candice Wells, called law enforcement, like I said, and reported Summer missing. The timelines never seem to be making sense. That's the reason I strongly believe there's some kind of foul play in it. We don't see the parents searching for Summer at all, and that is a red flag by itself. Today I would really like to point out all the red flags and try and get it collectively as one. 8:30 in the evening, or around those timings, after Candice Bly called law enforcement, Candice said that she called her husband, Donald Wells, first. She said, I called Donnie and I told him that Summer's nowhere to be found. She said that Donald Wells, the father of Summer, told Candice to immediately hang up and call law enforcement. Candice Bly Wells, that's another red flag, went back to her maiden name, that's Candice Bly, on the 29th of June. I personally take this to be one of my major red flags. Guys, this is for entertainment purpose only to start with. If you check on the WJHL website, they played that on the news the same day as the interview. I believe around those days, you see Ainsley Daniels, I believe, in the studio explaining to the two other anchors that Candice Bly called her and she told Miss Ainsley or Mrs. Ainsley that she changed her name and that she would like to be called or would like to be addressed by Candice Bly. So that is a huge red flag for me, because most of the cases or missing cases you usually see, if the parents are not involved in the disappearance and if they're not guilty, then they would usually stick together. Because I believe that Candice has been with Dawn from the very start, before Summer was missing. So I find it strange that while the daughter is missing, that Candice on the 29th of June decided to change her name back to Candice Bly. I know some people can say that maybe they weren't married, but it is in Candice's Facebook, the pictures of her 4 children, some as a baby, that I believe she is carrying her grandest like in the hand, and you see Dawn standing there. They're in a church, and it says, I believe it's in the Seventh Adventist church that they go to. And it says married. So I believe they're doing some kind of marriage, what's it called? Some kind of marriage ceremony. So that's one major red flag, I personally believe, because people don't go around changing their second name. They don't go around taking out their married name unless these two people were having serious problems, which they were always. Obviously, with all the drinking and all the bad habits, they will end up in fights. That they have done on YouTube several times. But then if Candice wanted to divorce or go from Dawn, I personally believe she would have done it a long time ago. Because I believe a year and a half ago, when they fought, she said that Candice told the courts that Dawn was giving a hard time, basically. That he was very violent and that he was drunk. And she said, I fear my life and I fear for my children's life. And then we heard Dawn saying on his small interview where he's standing with his son that he traumatized so much, you clearly hear Dawn saying, when he was asked about the fight that he had with Candice and that she reported him for domestic violence, he said, oh no, it wasn't much like that. She forgave me. No, he didn't say she forgave me, sorry. He said that Candice asked for forgiveness, and I forgave her, and she went to the law enforcement and withdrew back a complaint. And he said she was just angry and jealous and such things. He started using as excuse. So my point is that if Candice really wanted to leave Don, she would have left him in other serious situations, like the domestic violence, the allegedly adultery that we used to hear about Don, and with his binge drinking and everything and not coming home. So for Candice to have waited for such a long period and then decided to change her last name 14 days or 15 days after Summer Moon Utawels, her youngest daughter, her youngest baby was missing. That makes me believe that Candice knows more than she's telling us, obviously. I don't know if Candice is scared of Dawn, or if Dawn is scared of Candice, or if Grandis is scared of Dawn, or if Grandis is scared of Candice. This entanglement will be very difficult to find out until the truth comes out when they get arrested. Hoping for that to happen one day. But that is only if they're guilty. Because I really do not want parents who are innocent to be accused of something that they did not do. But then, like I said today, I'm going to point out red flags. At times I sit to myself and I think, maybe Candice is not guilty, or maybe Dawn is not guilty. I read the comments downstairs and I see we are split maybe in 70-30%. 70% says that maybe, according to me, that, or maybe 85% say that the parents are involved. So my biggest red flag is if you have a child missing, you would obviously be searching for your child. Look at I always use that example, the McCanns. It was the most famous kidnapping case in the world. When Maddie McCann got kidnapped or abducted in Portugal, Algarve, in the hotel resort, everyone blamed, or mostly, not everyone, it was split just like Candice and Donna's case. Some saying that they're guilty, many saying that they're innocent. But one thing I noticed about the McCanns is the McCanns, to start with, like I mentioned before in another clip, the McCanns are very, very well educated people. The father and mother are both doctors. The father's a heart surgeon and the mother's a general GP doctor. What I'm trying to say is the McCanns never refuse to cooperate with the Portuguese police where it happened, where poor Madeleine McCann was kidnapped. The McCanns do not refuse to work with the British police and with all law enforcement that were involved. They used to continue going to church in Portugal, holding each other's hands. looking after each other, hugging each other. And that proves those two people really wanted their daughter Madeline McCann back because they did everything they could. They spent millions. The government of UK helped them with millions too. The public helped them with GoFundMe's. I believe they used over 20 million, if I'm not mistaken. And there wasn't any results. But now we recently got the result after 16 years, or after 14 years, that Maddie McCann was killed by a savage called Brenner. Brenner is from Germany. He's a pedophile, trigger warning, and used to abuse and torture children and elderly people. So no matter what happened, the McCanns, Kate and Jerry, stuck together. They were holding each other's arms, hands, caring for each other, looking after one another. And they never gave up their search for Maddie McCann. Although the public was being really, really terrible to them at times, some of the public. And I'm talking about Madeline McCann's case. When this happened, I was in Norway. I used to live in Norway. And I remember it became a big deal. I think it is the most famous kidnapping in the world. So that is the example that I want to give how the McCanns acted, how other missing parents who really have nothing to do with their child going disappeared, all of those people try and stick together as a united front. But the only time I see Candice and Dawn united is when they're up to no good. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. When they're up to no good, coming drunk, intoxicated, or maybe on drugs even, when they come on TV, they're united in BS. But you never hear them asking the public and asking the YouTube creators to help them to come down and search for someone who else. So that is a major, major red flag for me. The change of name, the Candice Bly change, Candice Bly Wells, took out the Wells. So let's think, why would she do that? Definitely she was angry with Dawn. But what anger and what level of anger could get you to change your name at such a vulnerable time that your child was missing for 2 weeks when you did that, Candice? Then you have other red flags, and that would be the timeline. The timeline, the reason I say it's full of red flags is because it's not a genuine timeline. It just seems like a script that they all sat and wrote together, and some of them can't even keep the script. They couldn't memorize the script. That's why the bridge is falling down. Whatever bridge and whatever lies they made is shattering down on them. On Wednesday is going to be 1 year since Summer Munu Wells was reported missing. And it's really heartbreaking. I've been really sad about it, honestly. I used to always say I would rest better if Trezell and Jacqueline go to jail, if they did anything with Sincere and Classic, aka Orvin and Osiris. And I used to pray and wait until today. We all are waiting for whoever hurted Summer to be held responsible for it. The Amber Alert is still out for Summer Munu Wells, which is really good. Now, there's been lately updates saying that law enforcement allegedly believed that Summer could have wandered off and could have been, God forbid, eaten by an animal. This is not something I came up with. This is something you can see it in the clips I put down. This is something that came out the last 2 days. I've been sitting and thinking about that theory. And law enforcement knows best. I believe there could be a possibility, but I personally do not believe that something happened to Summer in that manner. I believe that the parents are involved. Honestly, that's my opinion. We can agree to disagree. I don't know which of the couple is involved or if it's both of the couple that's involved. I don't know if Candice is involved or she may not be involved. But this is what happens when people do not be honest and come with the truth. Then they make it easier for the public to sit and speculate. This is one of the saddest cases. Because poor little Summer, precious little Summer, did not deserve that. She would have been 6 years old now, but at the age of 5, you can imagine how vulnerable children are. The people who are supposed to be protecting Summer, looking after her, keeping her safe, keeping her away from danger, looking after her physical and mental health. Even that wasn't done. I honestly believe it's not only Summer that is the victim, it's Summer and all her 4 brothers. Even the other 2 children that Candice had in a previous marriage. Another red flag is that I don't understand, and I can never get this in my mind, how irresponsible, careless Candice is for taking Summer to the swimming hole. we could see how dirty the water was. There was rocks, there was branches, chunks of wood, maybe rocks beneath the surface deep down inside. Then we had clearly Hunter was splashing water at Summer, and Candice said that herself, that she told him to stop, that Summer doesn't like it. I wonder how long that splashing of water went, because do not forget, all we hear is allegedly from Candice, H, the 15-year-old boy was in the timeline. But we don't, and we shouldn't believe most of the things they say. If Candice went and searched for Summer a couple of times, I would have really thought maybe that we are going too hard on her. But Candice, as a mother, it's shocking that you're in searching for your daughter. Like I said, on Wednesday is going to be exactly a year. It's the anniversary of when Summer got missing in Tennessee. And there hasn't been any new updates. They have used a lot of infrared cameras on drones and other equipments for many, many searches. Law enforcement and the TBI and the FBI have covered a good chunk of land around their properties. That's why I always believe, and this is my personal opinion only, that something could have happened the day before. That's the 14th. Because the red Toyota Tacoma was seen by a witness either on the 14th or 15th. Like I mentioned before, Dudley's interview, the guy used to work for Dawn. Dudley himself said that Dawn came to the work on the 14th. I believe it was a Sunday, one day before Summer went missing. And he said Dawn was sitting on top of the toilet pot because obviously they're building houses and he was just destroyed. I would really love to know what happened maybe 7 to 10 days before Summer Moon Wells went missing. Because as a therapist, it would have given me a better idea. I'm talking about to check if, like, just say example, if one of them have bipolar, which I personally believe Candice has a lot of mood issues and all. And just say if she has bipolar or any other mental illness, even H, who has ADHD, impulsive ADHD. I wonder, with all the alcohol and drugs involved and possibly serious mental illness, if this could have contributed into something violent or accident, trigger warning, with Summer. One thing I've noticed right from the start, when this case started, I hate to say that, but this is my opinion. I personally believe that Candice loves her boys more than her little Summer. Because even if when Summer went missing, Candice kept on talking about the boys. When Candice, what I found interesting is, if you go back and check the first interview Candice did with Dawn in front of the property, where she has on the, what's it called, blue top or singlet, whatever it's called. When she did that interview, I remember hearing Candice clearly say, oh, when they asked her what are you going through, how are you feeling, or something like that, and she said this was in the the WJHL clip that we watched. This was a more detailed interview. I'm sure many of you all have seen it. I thought Candice would take that chance and cry out to the world and say, please help me to find my baby daughter. But Candice said, help me to find Summer, because she started crying, and then she said, it's because I don't know what to tell my sons about their sister. And she said, it kills me that to tell my son that the sister's no longer here. That I can understand. Of course, siblings are very important. And Summer was close to her brothers. But Candice did not take that chance by asking the world, can you please help me to bring back my daughter home. She was more bothered about how her sons will feel, which is important, like I said. But then a mother would usually say, if she's not guilty, please bring my child home. I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't do anything, I can't concentrate, I'm losing the plot here, I need my baby back home. But Candice did not show any of the signs, not at all. And she has no intention to do that. That is the reason I really have said for the last 11-12 months that Candice Bly Wells has no empathy. She has no remorse. Everything she says these days is either a lie or a prank. Imagine that your baby is missing, your last born child, a 5-year-old child, precious little girl. Your baby is missing and you're not even searching for her. You're not even putting posters up for her. You're not taking the help and aid and offer that the public are giving you to come down with drones and search for your baby girl. I remember the day that Candice was on one of the YouTube creators show. And she was crying and complaining like a little girl, like a 5-year-old girl, that she was upset and angry and all because her online internet friend, Jenna, would not talk to her. And as a therapist, that makes me ask only one thing. if Candice is using so much emotions and empathy, whether she's faking it or not, for a friend. And that's just a friend that she met right after summer disappeared. But Candice still showed her empathy for Jenna. Jenna, if you're hearing, I have nothing against you, sweetheart. But I'm just trying to point out what a character Candice is. The reason I'm going with all the red flags one by one that I can remember of now is actually for the people who still believe that Candice and Donna are innocent. They could be innocent, definitely. Nobody is guilty until proven guilty in the courts of law. But like they say in English, actions speak louder than words. The actions are showing us totally opposite of how parents who are genuine and their child is missing acts. When I say Candice doesn't have any empathy, I'll give you another example. She never bothers about her boys. She could be visiting them, but then we hear that she's out of state, allegedly. In Arkansas, there was another place, Wisconsin. She's apparently in one of them, if she hasn't come back by now. Why isn't she visiting her sons? Candice is just doing what she did to her previous children, to the 3 boys. And my heart aches for them. Hopefully they will have a better life than they had with their parents, who should be arrested personally, if not for murder, for child negligence, child abuse, and especially child endangerment. They took Summer to a dirty swimming hole that the horse pond, which is a beautiful place, but the side they were swimming in, had a lot of trash. Another thing that I've been really wanting to discuss about is, do you all remember in the previous interviews, especially with Chris McDonough? Please like, share, and subscribe to Chris. He's intelligent and an excellent cold case detective. Candice told Chris that when she and Hunt and Grandis came to the swimming hole, she said, oh, there was a lot of trash there. There was a lot of beer cans and a lot of twisted tea, the alcohol beverage that she gave the 15-year-old boy called Hunt. So that was the excuse, I personally believe. Because I believe that when you know that you could go down for even negligence, Candice didn't want to be caught for giving H. Hunter alcohol. So she made the first and best excuse. Oh, there was a lot of rubbish. A lot of rubbish was scattered around. A lot of twisted tea cans was scattered around. That is the part that made me think it means there wasn't 2 or 1 twisted tea. I believe there was a couple of twisted tea. I personally believe Candice was drinking and so was Hunt. If she wasn't drinking then surely she started drinking at 5:30. Because according to Leslie and Allison, which we can't even believe much about, because Allison is full of red flags, coaching her son at 1 hour and 34 minutes to say he was in the park. And the neighbors said that to Crime Stories Obsessed. Emma, please like, share, and subscribe to Emma. Really love her. The neighbors told Emma. They said no. They said nobody saw Hunter. They said we were there, but Hunter wasn't in the park. That's another red flag. But allegedly, Allison and God rest his soul, Jose, they all said that Candice gets drunk. She drinks and gets drunk. Every day at 5:30 sharp, it looks like. So if she was really in the swimming hole, she must have started drinking 1 or 2 beers to warm herself up so that she can start her 5:30 session, alcohol session. That's what I believe. Let's not forget that Candice said before, when she had her own channel, she said clearly, when she was drunk and intoxicated, she said, I will never drink again, and I won't do anything to hurt my boys or Summer ever again. And that proves to me, or that's what I personally believe, that something happened to Summer, either accident, or maybe an accident with someone, one of her brothers. Something happened at that time of the 5:30 drinking session. Since Candice said it from her own mouth, and it's in one of my clips. If you check it, I believe I made it 2-3 months ago. There's a little clip there with Candice herself saying, I will never drink again, and I'll never do anything to hurt Summer, my sons, Summer or her brothers again. I hate to say it, but I believe that they won't find anything in the searches. And I've always said that from day one. One of the reasons I believe that is because this could have happened before the 15th of June. That would have given them sufficient time to move Summer around, to maneuver around, take her out of state. We saw all of the timeline narratives, and we can see it doesn't make sense. At times, it's actually Dawn that shows the empathy for someone. And I really don't want to speculate about if he was doing anything to his little baby girl. But at times the way he talks and all the things that he says that Summer used to see with him and the mother since she was born right up to she was 5.5, can draw us easily in that direction. I really hope we get justice for this little girl. But let's move ahead and think, even if they don't find the body, then possibly, I believe we would be looking at a grand jury. And the reason I say that is because we have already seen the defense attorney talk about 2, 3 months ago saying that law enforcement and him are trying to kind of build a case. Another reason that I do not believe that the parents are telling the truth about the abduction theory is because everybody is being to Ben Hills Creek, from Chris McDonald to everyone else, have all said that the steep up the hill and where the house is located is not to get, it's not easy to get up there. So unless the Wells invited people over, which we hear that Candice allegedly used to pick up hitchhikers and strangers, unless she brought someone home, they did something to someone, God forbid, everything's possible. That is the reason I hope they get arrested at least for child negligence, child endangerment, child abuse, and many other things. CPS shouldn't have given these people chance. There were so many complaints about the Wells and how they were towards the children, and it took a long time for CPS to come. I heard they came and visited them on the 14th, and if that is the truth, then what a coincidence. Because allegedly they were supposed to come back and get the children. They should have done it then. But they gave them time, actually, I'm being honest, to do their crime and get away with it, or almost get away with it. We still don't know yet. It's really heartbreaking as days goes by that there isn't any updates. And the more I see that there isn't any body or anything being found, it makes me think, actually, there's always miracles. That makes me believe that maybe these people didn't want to give Summer to CPS. And let's hope they just took Summer out of state to somewhere, to other family members where she's safe. I guess it's a love to dream. We are love to dream. We are love to wish. We are love to pray. And that's all we can do. I'm happy that the boys have been given a second chance. God is good. God is great. They deserve that. Imagine it could have been much more worse. We could have lost 4 children instead of 1. And I really believe that this case will be solved somehow or the other. And that is due to the public pressure. Just like Trezell and Jacqueline West, the 2 evil monsters who got rid of the 2 poor little toddlers who were much younger than Summer, even were 3 and 4 years old, Orvin and Orson West, aka Cincy and Classic, Pettis. Even I think their case moved forward and went so quickly, not because law and enforcement and the FBI in Bakersfield and California City did a marvelous job on it. I believe it has mostly to do with public pressure. People were calling from all over the world to give Bakersfield law enforcement good information or any information, that could lead us closer to the boys. So just like in Cincinnati Classic, the California City Boys' case, just like their case, the public pressure that we are putting on our precious summer Moonu wells could actually help to prosecute them, even if it's in the grand jury. I really hope they do that, because I really don't believe this is the first crime or the last crime that the Wells have been involved in. These people were roaming, sorry to say, like gypsies. They were roaming from state to state, place to place. Every time they hear that the CPS is coming, they left the state. And it's sad. Really sad. They should have been kept an eye on. The children should have been removed much earlier. Allegedly, we heard they were giving the children drugs and alcohol, but that's allegedly. It's going to be 1 year and 2 days, and we still have no results of summer Moonu wells. There's so many players and so many suspects, or not suspects, people of interest in this case, that at times I wonder if they all are working together. They all must be playing different roles. I believe personally that Jody, Sue, and the Wells are playing the role like, y'all don't know me, I don't know you. Like when they're in public and on YouTube and all, they pretend they ain't close at all. But the minute Jody Sue said she believed it was an abduction, and the sheriff said he didn't believe that, I kept on keeping my eye on Jody Sue for the last 11 months. I'm not like the other YouTube creators. I refuse to contact Jody Sue Brown or anyone, because that is TBI's case, that's law enforcement's case. I would be just destroying the case by interfering, like the rest of the people have been doing. Jody Sue Brown is Summer's neighbor. We all were aware of that. Jody Sue Brown and her son said that they heard a car coming down the driveway of the Wells, or the neighbors or something like that. They said that they heard somebody yelling, but it sounded like an animal. And I always wonder if Candice witnessed the accident, or witnessed that it was too late for poor little Summer, and she must have, in that shock, yelled. That could be possible. Because I'll never forget what Robin said. She was one of the first people to come to the scene, although David Dobson was before her, and that is another important one. Because Robin said that to Chris in the interview, please like, share, and subscribe to Chris. Robin said a lot of things about what happened that day. And when Chris asked her, what is your opinion? Like, what did you see? What did you feel like? She said, I felt that Grandma was in despair, that there was no hope, kind of. She said, Don his eyes was aching. He looked like he was in pain and ache. And she said that Candice Bly was in a panic mode. So why was she in a panic? Did she realize that Summer did not wake up? Or did she find something that gave her the anxiety and panic? I love that quote that they say, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's probably a duck. If Candice and Dawn are acting so guilty, I personally believe they know something. It's strange that Dawn himself told the behavior panel, please like, share, and subscribe to them. He said so many things to them, and one of them was my children. All three of my boys, I bought them a pocket knife. When an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 12-year-old at that time were all three given a pocket knife. Look at the negligence and the endangerment, child endangerment there. I always said that something could have possibly happened to Summer in the swing. I've been saying that for many months, right from the start actually. It's because there's something about that swing that the Wells keep on mentioning. Summer would never leave a swing, her property, and her grandma's trailer. Dawn said that Summer would just stand above and wait for her brothers to come from the creek running upstairs, and she would run before them. I wonder if an accident happened and somebody ran over Summer. Because it is a possibility. I can't see a 5-year-old child wandering so far for animals to have eaten there. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's completely possible. But I'm thinking, since the endangerment alert and the amber alert was put up so quickly, it's a bit hard to believe that Summer would wander off. And since both the parents say Summer would never leave the house or wander off, that makes me believe something happened to Summer and they took Summer out of state before they reported her missing. Or they must have hidden Summer with some family, or they could have buried Summer somewhere far away from Ben Hill Creek. I still believe that. Because by now all the search teams like EquaSearch and all these people who are searching now, the TBI, the FBI, the local communities, somebody would have found Summer. Divers. And then it makes me start thinking, I hate to say, guys, trigger warning. Could it have been human trafficking? Could they have sold Summer? Because Dawn told the behavior panel, like, share, and subscribe to them. He said clearly that the TBI asked me, do you owe anyone any drug debts? So I think they could have sold Summer easily. I hope they come to the bottom of this. I hope we find precious Summer so that we can put her to rest. I hope all the YouTube creators can start working together as a united team. The more we are united we stand, divided we fall. The more we are united, because we all have one goal, to get justice for Summer and the other missing children. Guys, we need to start focusing on other missing cases too. There's so much sadness out there. Guys, please look after yourself. Apparently, was it 3 days ago, 4 days ago, I was researching about the gun laws and such things, and they said just from Uvalde, Texas, shooting up to now, up to 4 days ago, that we say within 2 weeks, there was 34 mass shootings in the United States. Guys, please be mindful, be aware. Do not wear headsets when you're in a supermarket or going to pick up your child from school and all. Be alert. There's a lot of sadness, a lot of hurt, a lot of violent things happening in this world. The gun laws need to be straightened out. I hope they pass the bills in all the 52 states with the gun laws. If it was up to me, I wouldn't have said 21 either. I would have said 25 with the mental health evaluation, therapy, and definitely a psychiatrist evaluation. Because the brain cells they're completed their development when you're around 25, 26 years old, allegedly. So even at 21 years old, wouldn't be completely 100% safe to be carrying around guns and such things. Guys, do self-care, look after yourselves, please drink plenty of water. Please be aware of your surroundings. See something, say something. It could save a life. It could save thousands of lives. I hope they take mental health more serious everywhere in the world. I hope every government puts in a lot of funding for free mental health care, especially for people who are suffering of mental health illness. Even anxiety and depression, because if you don't deal with anxiety and depression, it becomes severe. And when it goes to a certain stage, it can lead to other mental illness. So guys, look after yourself. Take care. Pray for summer, guys. Pray for Sincere and Classic, aka Oren and Os West, or Oren and Olsen West, aka Sincere and Classic West. Please pray for Lena Keel Sadat. She's a 3-year-old girl who went missing from San Antonio, Texas. That happened on Christmas Day. Up to today, the Amber Alert is out for her. $200,000 was funded by the Islamist Mosque of Texas and San Antonio areas. May God bless them for that. That is beautiful. And there was 50,000 reward that law enforcement put up before that. If it hasn't increased, it's on 250,000. So anyone knows any information of little Lena Keel Sadat, please contact the Santa Antonio Police District. Guys, if you have any whereabouts of Michael Vaughn, he goes by the nickname Michael Monkey. His mother says he knows himself by Monkey too. I hope they find him too. It's sad that no Amber Alert was put out for little Michael. And I hope they do that for each and every child that is missing. Guys, the last topic I wanted to touch a bit on is, I don't know if you all saw the sad thing that happened in Florida, I think 10 days ago or 8 days ago. You can watch it tomorrow in the clips below. It's about this woman who has an argument with a neighbor, and then she hands her bag to a 10-year-old daughter, and the 10-year-old daughter takes a gun, the mother's gun, out of the bag and starts shooting the woman who was fighting with the mother or arguing with the mother. The woman she shot died, I believe instantly. And now law and enforcement and the courts, actually not law enforcement, the courts want to prosecute the 10-year-old girl as an adult, which is really sad. It's so heartbreaking. What can a 10-year-old girl know or do with a gun? That shouldn't be even supposed to be happening. I believe the mother should get life in jail for handing the little kid access to a weapon that could have killed the little girl and did kill the neighbor. I hope that little girl gets counseling, and I hope that they arrest the mother and give her life and release the girl and supervise and monitor her. Her life just started. She's only 10 and it's ending by going to jail. Hopefully not. So when you have such sick people roaming around the world, we are supposed to be looking after children, making sure that we don't get them involved in our pathetic fights or anything. She handed the child a gun. That means take the gun and shoot the woman. Why else would he be handing her? And I don't understand why the hand wasn't on safe mode or whatever it is, or locked. This is terrible. There's so much sadness happening in the world. Anyway, guys, I really hope that Trizelle and Jacqueline West get indicted to the max for what they've done to the two little toddlers and their own two children, biological children, and the other two adopted children, all 6 children. And I hope whoever hurt or did something to Summer gets put away for life. But I actually hope first that Summer's alive and safe somewhere. Anyway, guys, look after yourselves, look after each other, love your family, love your friends, forgive each other. Life is too short. And prayers for Summer Mulu Wells, prayers for Lena, Keel, Siddharth from San Antonio, prayers for Cynthia and Classic, Pettis, the California City Boys, prayers for Michael Wong Monkey, prayers for all the other missing children, prayers for all the people suffering in the world. Guys, enjoy your week ahead. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.